Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring now from Liverpool, Richie Wenton.
Richie Wenton, the emotional scouser who does his training right here in Sheffield. In fact, in a gym in a block of flats 500 yards from this arena. He won a Lonsdale bout at 8 stone 10 pounds, that's super bantamweight. This is his second attempt to become a British champion up at featherweight, the classic 9 stone division. He has the talent, he has the experience, but I wonder, Glenn, how much deep down desire and ambition is left, particularly against this very strong young opponent he has here tonight.
Ian, that's the key of the whole fight. What Wenton is like mentally. You know, how much does he want it when the going gets tough in this fight against a very good Harrison? You know, how will he take it? He's quit twice on his stool. You know, will he opt out again? You know, if he's got the drive, he can give anybody a good fight.
Be interesting to see how he goes here. Richie Wenton, who's been around the top domestically for quite a long time now. Pro for 12 years.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring, from Cambusland, Scotland, Scott Harrison.
There's Scott Harrison. He doesn't smile much. He's mature beyond his 23 years. He doesn't even say much, but he expresses himself very well in the ring. This is a guy who's only had 14 fights. They've adopted a high-risk policy. He's beaten 2 big-name former world champions in Tracy Harris-Patterson and Tom Johnson, and he's won 2 Commonwealth Championship fights. You can't argue with that.
You can't. I mean, that's a measure of the talent. You'd say in fights, he should be a novice. In fact, being with 2 former world champions, and he's a champion himself, you know, it shows how much confidence he's got in himself and how much confidence the camp have in him. He's a good fighter.
Right there among the top young boxers in Britain, for my money, Scott Harrison. He's 23, Wenton 33 years of age now. Wenton is taller, will have a reach advantage. They may be the keys for him if there are keys. Wenton made the weight easily. Harrison, as you've seen, needed 3 trips to the scales to make it. Debut for Harrison 5 years ago, Wenton way back in 1988. Wenton's only had 29 fights in all that time, mind you. Harrison about half. More rounds box, of course, for the Liverpool fighter, and a slightly better knockout ratio. But Harrison, I think, is quite a hurtful puncher, and he can put them together pretty well. Harrison looking to add the British title to the Commonwealth crown he already holds.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome along to the Ponsford International Sports Centre here in the delightful still city of Sheffield for tonight's championship boxing, proudly presented by Panex Promotions in association with Dennis Hobson Promotions. Sponsored here by Maxi Muscle, secondsout.com and BritishBoxing.com. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control and the Commonwealth Council here present with us at ringside. Supervisor Simon Block of London, steward in charge Dennis Lockton of Manchester. Inspectors Alan Ulster, Bert Smith, Thread Wright and Les Potts. And our 3 doctors here at ringside, Dr. Hudson, Dr. Singh and Dr. Stead. Timekeeper at the bell is Barry Pinder of Sheffield, and our referee in charge of the action and one of the leading referees in the world today is star referee Dave Paris of Edmonton, London. Sports fans, this is 12 rounds of boxing for the Commonwealth and vacant British Featherweight Championship. Introducing to you, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with red, weighing in at 8 stone, 13 pounds. He brings a 29 fight record, 24 wins, 10 inside the scheduled distance, and 5 losses. Coming to the ring as the former undefeated British Super Bantamweight champion, former world title challenger from Liverpool, now based in Sheffield. Please welcome Richie Wenton. And ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the white trunks trimmed with green. He weighed in at 9 stone exactly, that's championship weight, and brings a 14-fight record. 12 wins, 4 inside the scheduled distance, 1 loss, 1 draw. He comes to the ring as the current Commonwealth Featherweight champion, making his second defense from beautiful Cambusland, Scotland. Please welcome Scott Harrison. So, sports fans and Sky fans, let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds for the Commonwealth and the vacant British Featherweight Championship.
Final instructions from referee Dave Parris from Tottenham in North London. How tight at the weight is Scott Harrison? We think there were only a matter of ounces in it, so it could be a phony drama, those 3 trips to the scales. But Harrison here starting as an 8-1 on favourite with the bookmakers, and Wenton in picture there, 9-2 against. Harrison in the white trunks, making a second defence of his Commonwealth title and looking to add the British crown, which of course brings the Lonsdale belt. Wenton already has one of those to keep from his days at super bantamweight. How much has Wenton got left? Harrison usually one of those throwback types, boxes conventionally behind his jab, but can put together some very, very eye-catching combinations. Certainly impressed some good judges over in America. Azuma Nelson was ringside for one of his fights, and he gave him a rave review. Let's see how he does here, though. How does Wenton win, Glenn?
Well, it's a difficult one for Wenton. He's trying to stay long range, just keep using the jab in and out, and plenty work. I wouldn't think, he should get too involved with Harrison. He's got to keep it at long range. He's got the reach and height over Harrison.
And stay pretty mobile as well. He's doing that quite nicely in the first minute here, Wenton, throwing in some nice punches from range, particularly that right hand over the top. Harrison hasn't settled into gear yet. Wenton, who's been out of the ring for 10 months since losing to Gary Thornhill in another bid for this title. Thornhill later failed a drugs test and got stripped of the title. Hence, Wenton gets another chance. Here he is. Oh, and he's caught him with a left hand there. He touched down there. It only looked a glancing blow, but Wenton is down from the left in the very first round. Well, breakthrough for Harrison, and after Wenton had started so well, but look at the fire that Wenton comes back with. That stung him. Chopping right too from Harrison. Well, some drama early in this one.
Well, that stung Wenton into going into a fight. That's not the best tactic for him.
Strange, really, because Wenton had been more accurate and snappier early on, and still Harrison's timing doesn't look great. Not yet, anyway. Good defensive work by the Scot. They have really high hopes for him. Comes from Cambuslang, not far from Glasgow. Wenton doesn't seem too badly shaken up by the knockdown.
I don't think he got all his power into it. He was just moving away from the punch, but it was a knockdown.
Well, it was a shame for Richie Wenton because he started the fight quite impressively, but then Harrison got him.
Yeah, just that kick to the top of the head, just as he's moving away from it. Still enough to put him over.
So do you score the round 10-8, Glenn?
I do. I still thought Harrison won the round. He started quite well. First 30 seconds were good for Wenton, but I still thought Harrison scored the round. I would have given it 10-9, 10-8 with the knockdown.
I've got it 10-9 because I thought Wenton won the round apart from the knockdown. But there you go. I thought he was very good in the first minute there, Richie Wenton. How up for it is he? Can be a fragile character mentally. He's an emotional man. So sadly for him, he was involved in that tragic fight with Bradley Stone, and we wondered whether he'd ever be the same again. But he has managed to put it behind him, though he'll never ever forget who will. Here's round two. This famous title goes way back to 1884. The British crown, the more prestigious of the two, up for grabs here. Scott Harrison in the white trunks, remember. And it's the right strategy from Wenton. Whether he can carry it off for 12 rounds is pretty open to question. He has a dour, methodical way about him, Harrison, and I think he hits harder than his bare record might suggest.
Yes, what he does well, and you know, he's a good boxer, can punch a bit, does everything pretty good.
Trained by his father, Peter, who was an ex-Scottish lightweight champion. Range finding with the jab. The body shot was better from Harrison. Has a mean look on his face. He looks much older than 23, acts older than 23. Very dedicated. Good shots from Wenton. It's Harrison who's taking the fight to the Liverpool man at the moment. He's getting reddened up around the face too, Wenton.
This hasn't really warmed to it properly, I don't think, Harrison, yet. Still a bit stiff around the shoulders, bit upright, getting caught now and again.
Just looks a bit tense early on. He's one of those fighters I've noticed who does get better the longer a fight goes on. Good right hand. Well picked. Good hand speed too from Wenton. Still the timing not there for Scott from Scotland. Again, the right hand found its way through. Not enough head movement from Harrison, and again he's caught.
Well, Wenton boxing nice in this round. Good defensive work, just moving the head in and out of range and then coming back with the better counters.
It's quite clever, this, by Wenton, using all his experience. But 12 rounds is a long journey. Yeah, it's a good round for Richie Wenton. He's beaten people like Paul Lloyd, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, who's a real world star, or was until recently, and Wilson Doherty as well in his career.
Yes, he did some nice things in that round. Good defensive work and picked his shots well.
He has been beaten 5 times, though, as well. Floyd Churchill, Neil Swain, Vincenzo Belcastro, Gary Thornhill, and most famously Marco Antonio Barrera in a world title attempt in Atlantic City when he was beaten easily in 3 rounds. Barrera, of course, up against Hamed soon, April the 7th. Don't miss that on Sky. Good left hand again. Nice accuracy from Wenton. He's trying to apply pressure, but at the moment, Harrison, not too successfully.
Well, he's not good enough with his shots, quick enough. Needs to cut the distance now and just be a bit busier. He's just waiting that fraction too long.
And maybe Wenton's level of self-belief is rising. Again, good accuracy. And I noticed when he fought Tracy Harrison, he was easy to hit with jabs. He doesn't roll too much sway from the hips. There's not a lot of head movement. Does get his gloves quite high. That's a good right hand from Harrison there, though. Wenton down in round one.
Better with the left hook from Harrison.
This is better. Just beginning, maybe, to slip into gear. Is he here now, Scott Harrison? That's a nice right hand, too. And then he skipped away. Just looks as if the machine is beginning to lubricate itself a little here for Harrison.
Yes, he's just speeding up a bit, getting quicker to the punch.
I think he's a little wary of getting countered, isn't he? That's why he's out of range a little, I think, with the jab. He doesn't want to get in too close. And Wenton hit him with a right-hand counter.
Well, he's starting to get his timing right, just get a little more loose and get the punches going first, Harrison, and this is better from him.
This is easily the best yet from Scott Harrison. Now he's beginning to show what he can do, and he can do quite a lot, believe me.
Yeah, but interesting, Wenton just on a shut-up shop, as to say, not doing as much in this round.
Harrison beginning to show in this round why he started such a heavy odds-on favourite to win this fight. That was a low blow, the left hand from Wenton. Very low, in fact. Still the odd counter shot from Wenton, but Harrison now is turning up the heat. Scott Harrison looking to follow names like Bobby Neal, Evan Armstrong, Vernon Solis, and Mike Devaney as Scotsmen who've been British Featherweight champion. There have been others.
Good shots from Harrison, just getting the timing right, starting to up the tempo. And that was a much better round for him.
Good crowd here at the Ponds Forge Centre in the middle of Sheffield, just down the road from the station. White trunks, Scott Harrison from Scotland. His footwork improved too from Harrison. 10 years the younger man, that might be pretty important as well. Oh, it's a great right hand. Wenton took it well. It was a much better shot, much more solid than the one that had Wenton on the floor in the first round, or looked it anyway. And then another left hook. Wenton's gloves beginning to drop a little. He's taking a few to the head. Changing the pattern, and then his legs splayed after another one landed. Harrison now beginning to pile home the punishment. And this is getting much harder for Richie Wenton now. Harrison looks as if he's taken his measure in this phase of the fight anyway. Is there a way back for Wenton?
Well, it's going to be hard because Harrison keeps punching, letting the shots go with both hands. Really on the hunt now, Harrison.
He is, and looking eager. He sets himself for some of these shots, plants his feet, and he's getting busted up around the face a bit by the look of it too, Wenton. Very reddened, some lumps and swelling, digs in the left hook to the body. He's very well schooled, this Scott Harrison. He goes about his work like an old pro, doesn't he, sometimes?
Yes, he does, cutting the ring off. And this is very good work with both hands.
Wenton breathing more heavily.
Yes, the mouth open. I think he's got a cut in the inside of his mouth.
Yeah, you're right. And another big right hand. Wenton stays upright, but these punches thudding home. Dave Parris wants Wenton to fire back, otherwise he'll stop it. Wenton does. He needed to do that too, because I think he was probably 10 seconds away from getting stopped, maybe less, at that point. But Harrison now has taken a stranglehold. And these are big clubbing shots. He only has 4 stoppage wins so far, Scott Harrison. But the way this is looking, you'd be surprised if Wenton could get through 12 rounds.
Well, he's just not stopping punching either, Harrison. Really letting them go.
Well, he's really put the shots together. The gum shields come out of Wenton. Body and head shots. There's no way back. It's going to be stopped, surely. It is stopped. Perfectly timed by referee Dave Paris, and Scott Harrison adds the British crown to his Commonwealth title. And once he moved into gear, and it took him a couple of rounds, he was very, very impressive, and it was all too much for Richie Wenton.
Yes, that was very good for Harrison. As soon as he realised he had Wenton going, he just did not let him off the hook. That was very impressive, the way he kept cool, but kept his shots going. One hand, then the other. Good barrages punches. He wanted the stoppage, and he did everything to get it. Good time stoppage, but it had to come.
I think he's a slow starter, this Scott Harrison, but once he moves into gear, he really can put punches together. I think he's an excellent young fighter. I tell you what, he gets my vote for Young Boxer of the Year for the under-25s.
Yeah, I think I'd second that. Very good professional. Didn't show any emotion in there. Poker-faced. Keeps the punches going. The right hand dislodged the gum shield, and then he just wasn't going to stop. Looking for the shots. Good tempo with the punches, and he just keeps them going in. The referee had to call it off.
All over in round 4, and Scott Harrison, hard to believe really that this was only his 15th professional fight. Keeps the Commonwealth crown, second defence of that. Has a British crown, a Lonsdale belt to take home, has beaten 2 famous name world champions. Already they were faded, but he just made it impossible for the referee to take any other decision than stop the fight.
And he celebrates. Does nothing show any emotion, but he certainly thought that stoppage was worthy of some.
I wonder where Richie Wenton goes from there. Difficult, that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper at the bell, Barry Pinder, has recorded a time of 2 minutes, 57 seconds of the 4th round. Referee Dave Paris has stopped the contest. Wenton in no position to continue. Your winner, and still the Commonwealth, and now the British Featherweight champion from Cambuslang, Scotland, Scott Harrison. And show your appreciation for Richie Wenton. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to present the Commonwealth belt, we call upon fight supervisor Simon Block, and to present the Commonwealth Lonsdale belt, we call upon our secretary, Dennis Longton.
So he has that British title belt to add to the Commonwealth belt. That's the one going over his shoulder now. But the way he's progressing, surely the Lonsdale belt will become his to keep over the next year or two if he can stay fit and keep up this rate of progress. But already, as Barry McGuigan has suggested, we are looking beyond this level with this young man from Scotland. More on Harrison in a moment. Now another man who's had a fair share of title glory recently, Clinton Woods. He's won the British, Commonwealth and European light heavyweight titles, but now he too has eyes on the world scene. First, he's got to take care of business tonight against his British rival, Ali Forbes. That's who the Sheffield crowd have come to see tonight. That one's coming up next. But first, Scott Harrison with Adam Smith.
Scott Harrison, 5th stoppage of your career, but presumably the sweetest to win you the British belt.
Aye, it was the sweetest, aye. You can hear me 2 belts in it. What I done was just kept the pressure. Once I seen I thought him with the hooks, just kept him tapping.
That's right, stopped just 3 seconds from the end of the 4th round. The referee had no choice. You were just getting into gear, weren't you?
I seen I hurt him in the start of the round, and I just kept him tapping.
I went to see Richie Wenton earlier in the week, and I know how up he was for the fight. He was boxing well at the beginning.
I was boxing, sticking out the jab. I was trying to get my left hook off. I mean, I've been training for 8 weeks for this fight, you know, so there's no way I was going to get beat.
We're going to get a smile?
Oh, aye. That's well, aye.
Let's bring father trainer Peter Harrison in, first of all. Okay. He's a hidden secret, isn't he? He's really good, this kid.
I don't think he's a hidden secret. I mean, everybody knows how good a fighter he is. I mean, the boxing used the trade paper, rated him the 4th best fighter in Britain in the year 2000. I mean, maybe the public, the rest of the public in Britain, maybe don't know him, but the boxing people definitely know who Scott Harrison is.
He's put a statement out tonight, though, hasn't he, Frank Maloney? You said 4 rounds as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, Scott is a little bit of a hidden secret because he does his fighting in the ring and talking in the ring, and really only the boxing public know him. Now it's my job to make sure the British public know him. I think by the end of this year, this guy will be ready and he will beat Nazim Hamid. There is no doubt in my mind about it.
That's a big call, beating Nazim Hamid. Well done tonight, Scott.
I want to thank my support for coming down.
Thank you, Your Honour.